Mercury, Mercury, stardust. She's a beacon of hope in the darkest night. Mercury, Mercury, stardust. She'll teach you how to make it all alright. Hey there, hi, my name is Mercury, and I'm the trans Handy Ma'am. My pronouns are she, her, and I teach compassionate DIY. We're here to help renters, LGBTQIA members, and anyone who's feeling left out in a DIY space.
Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals, thank you for listening to this episode of the Handy Ma'am Hotline. As always, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Maggie Conrad.
Hello.
And my wonderful second co-host, who is also the audio person, the wonderful Matthew Allen Hegg.
Hello.
Always so much energy with Maggie, and also always like he just woke up out of bed. Like if I didn't know he was behind the door right now working right now, I thought he would be like at home sleeping in his PJs.
You just woke him up.
To be fair, if I wasn't here working, I would be at home.
You know what, Matthew? I appreciate that honesty, buddy. Hey, Maggie, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
This is your first podcast in what it feels like a month, right?
It's been a couple weeks.
It has been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We haven't had you back since you and I were at VidCon, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, really quickly, Maggie, with 2 sentences. I just want you all to know, I know ahead of time that putting Maggie on the spot is not a good idea. But we are
She's
just...
rambling to give me some time.
Maggie! Yes, Maggie knows. I'm literally rambling in order to give you a minute or two. No, okay, here we go. So, Maggie, give me like a sentence, the 2-sentence max. How the last month has been for you.
2-sentence max.
Well, there's one.
No. Okay. I would say that it has been both probably like the most
A lot of comments.
thrilling period of growth in our business, but also the most terrifying. So, yeah. Thrilling and terrifying.
That was a run-on
2 words.
That was a run-on sentence if I've ever heard any. That was so many commas were in there.
Well, I only did one.
And you also said period, and I was like, "Oh, is this like grammar period, or you're just like saying the word period?" So funny. I love you. But that all being said, Maggie, we have had some wild times in the last couple of weeks. It's been the whole year has been kind of like not so fucking butso. But all of that being said, Maggie, I would love to answer some wonderful DIY questions with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
We ready to do this thing?
I'm a little out of practice, but I'm here.
Okay, Maggie.
I'm ready.
Maggie, you know how this goes, okay? I'm going to be asked 5 questions, and I'm going to do the best I can in order to answer those 5 questions. There's going to be some antics along the way. There are going to be some sassy remarks. There's going to be me probably shitting on a landlord. There's going to be...
some Googling.
There's going to be some Googling that we never tell the audience. But there's going to be some Googling. And there's also going to be a lot of laughter and probably some farts that Matt has to cut out. So, Maggie, are you ready for the very first question of the day?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hi there, my name is Monica, and my pronoun is she, her, and I have a problem where sometimes my bathroom will, it starts to smell from the sinks, I guess, and I feel like I have a double vanity, and I'll try to put water in both of those to make sure that's not coming up, and that sometimes seems to help, but and sometimes I'll do turn on the washing machine, and that will start to make it smell. And so I was curious if there's any ideas of what I should do. Do I need to clean out the P-traps regularly, or what do I need to do? Thanks a bunch. Bye.
Well, hello, Monica. Thank you for asking such a great question. You were my favorite person on the show, friends. Okay, so, but all that being said, I believe very strongly that there is a clog that's forming in there, right? We've talked extensively about clogs here, but smell itself is one of the things that'll do it. Now, it's going to depend. If it smells like rotting eggshells or rotting egg, right? That can often be something around the lines of a bad hair clog that's really stinky and smelly. Boy, that will catch a lot of grime and stuff. And I can't tell you how often that smells like rotting something.
Yeah.
But then, on the flip side, if it smells like sewage, then you might have a bigger issue. It might be something wrong with your P-trap. There could be sewage could be coming up. You know, it could be an early sign of larger problems. If you are smelling it when you are running your washer, that's not abnormal. That is that, you know, a lot of times that will actually exacerbate the issue. And that's when you know there's probably a clog, maybe like 10 feet down the drain.
Yeah, doesn't it mean it's a little further down?
Yeah, it might be like 10 to 15 feet. Depends. It was really hard to know because I don't know how far away the washer is to the connection to. I mean, sometimes if you're in an apartment, you could be right next to each other. You know what I mean? Like right now, mine is.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You know, but in some people's places, it might be a whole across the whole house or something, or in a whole different area. So I don't know when those intersection pipes hit it, or at what point do they hit the stack. You know what I mean? But if you turn it on and within like 2 seconds, it's smelling right away. Well, I mean, that clog ain't that far away.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That clog is pretty darn close if it's causing that kind of problem. So this is what my thought process would be. I would take the P-trap off. I don't think you were wrong, Monica. I think starting there is always a good place. I don't think you got to do it regularly, like every 2 to 3 weeks kind of thing. I don't think that's the thing I would do. I would say, though, take it off by the P-trap. Make sure you put a bucket on in there, and then get yourself some type of like pistol grip hand auger, because I wouldn't recommend the Cobra Skinny drain cleaner for this one. I would recommend something that had at least 25 feet to it. I think you want to max it out as much as you can. If you have an electric one or access to an electric auger, probably going to be easier. But a pistol grip hand auger can be attached to a drill, and you can turn it into electric auger, and that makes it
like a drill bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, because the back of a pistol grip hand auger is a drill bit,
right?
So you can just you grab onto it with your drill, and then you just spin. It's fun watching it, but boy, if it clubs you in the wrong way, that hurts your knuckles. But all that being said, I believe that if you do that, you will probably find some type of clog. Now if you find a clog, go back down and try it again. I would suspect that there's like clogs forming and there's like chunks of stuff. Not going to be fun. If you are someone who's squeamish. Yeah, if you're someone who does not like smelly stuff, then I would highly recommend wearing at least a mask, if not a respirator. I would also say bust out that Febreze and bust out that candle. That makes a world of difference when you're doing it. When your space smells a little better, and then you bring it in, it's a little easier to handle.
Yeah, we've pulled out some stinky clogs before.
I will say,
it's not fun.
having a bucket with a little bit of bleach and a little bit of water in it,
sure,
you can just dump it in right away. That does help too. That will cut some of that smell real quick.
Nice.
And prevent it from like really killing you. You got to deal with bleach then, but like at least it's somewhat
it's
manageable.
Not gonna make you gag.
Yeah, I mean, it might make you gay when you boil it off, but then you get a moment. But if you deal with bleach or any chemicals, make sure you are wearing eye protection too, because splash could happen. But all that being said, make sure that you take the tip of the pistol grip hand auger, as I always say, in that first quarter of an inch, the first half inch to an inch, bend at a 45-degree angle. That when you're spinning the pistol grip hand auger, what you're doing is then pulling down the wire or the cable further down the drain. And when you're dealing with 25 feet, that helps. If you get stuck, okay, now when you're dealing with a 25-foot auger, you could get stuck, okay? Patience. Don't jerk. Don't pull. That would make things worse. What you want to do is spin. Just spin in reverse and let it work itself out, okay? You put it in reverse and you just spin it. Either you do it by hand or you do it by drill. You flip it and you reverse it. Something next verse, okay? But that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Maggie, do you have any hints or suggestions?
No, that was pretty much what I was thinking too. Taking off the P-trap, going in.
Yeah, I think what you could say is, in this instance, you could try some combination with like vinegar and stuff like there, just to, like baking soda and vinegar down your sink. Give that a try. That's like the least likely to make you regret the decision later on. If it doesn't like work, and then all of a sudden that's in your P-trap. It's not like the worst thing in the world. I would definitely not use Drano. I would definitely not use those kind of stuff. If you are someone who just, I can't take it apart in Mercury. I can't do it. I think it's a hair clog. So I'm going to say 100% lie. Any product any product that's 100% lye, like Thrift, that's lye being LYE, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any product that's 100% that dissolves. So like it's like a whole bunch of little capsules and stuff that like you pour it around the drain or in the drain, and then you run water and then that reacts with the water, and that stuff cuts hair down pretty good. Like that will
Nice.
eat the hair up.
Yeah.
So I say that. I say if you need to. I like to give that option out there, but I would really strongly suggest you go to Pistol Grip Hand Auger. That's going to be, you could be doing the Thrift, and then it could be making the problem so much worse. Because if you loosen the clog up and then you send it down the drain,
it goes further down.
Yeah, it goes further down.
Catches a bigger clog later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you keep doing it, you can do something called a fatberg. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and we've talked about fatbergs before, but
Yeah.
fatbergs, a lot of people associate them with wet wipes, and yeah, that can be, but they're not just wet wipes. They're a lot of stuff. They're all the things. Wet wipes definitely don't help,
Yeah.
right? But a fatberg is.
It's like the rat king of clogs.
Yeah, and the last thing you want is a fatberg
Yeah.
forming in your stack. Your stack is the last pipe essentially leading up to the sewage line for the most part, right? The stack is your safe haven. You want that, and the staffs are pretty fucking big. It takes a lot to clog those damn things. Man, if you stacks, a clog on a stack is a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah.
So I would stay away.
No fatbergs.
Yeah. So, but if you really need to, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to support you in where you're at, and I think the 100% lye products are good. Stay away from liquid heats. Stay away from high acid stuff. If it's like high burning acid that can give you hives when you open it, I know that because I literally am allergic to a lot of those.
Oh shit!
I can't open them because I'll break out in hives instantly.
Crazy.
Yeah, very crazy. But a lot of that kind of stuff just does not eat hair anyways. It'll eat up crystallized urine, like or it'll eat up like some bacteria really well. That could help the smell, But I'm telling you, I don't think that's necessary.
Usually the hair clogs.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: after you pull the clogs out and the water runs fine, if everything runs well, that's when you pour a Drano down it.
Oh,
after you run the auger and all that, and it doesn't work, or it does work and it pulls something out, then throw Drano down it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
To kind of just clear the gunk after the hair's been removed.
Yeah, like Drano's great for cleaning it. If you know there's not a clog, you don't even worrying about it eating through cast iron.
Right.
Because like the problem when it's in older pipes, right, is if it hits the clog and it eats at the clog, it's also eating at the pipe.
Oh,
right.
sure.
So if it's just running through it, I mean, it's not gonna, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It can be really bad if it has to hit a clog.
Yeah.
But, like, I would say in that instance, that's when you can use those acid kind of stuff. If you really want to, just wear the proper PPE and take care of yourself. But, like, the liquid fire and stuff, that's good after you do all the other stuff. And you run hot water for a little bit. But always dilute it afterwards. You let it, you read the back of it, right? And if it says do it after 20 minutes, you do it after 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That is not like, I can wait an hour. Don't wait an hour. Always dilute it.
Do what it says.
Yeah, if it says dilute after 10 minutes or something, dilute it. And I would dilute it at 9 minutes. I'm that serious about it. I think that stuff can really cause problems. So beware. Better safe than sorry. Anyways, I think
that was a pretty thorough answer.
You know what?
You gave a lot of options.
I
there.
gave so many options. I did real good. Maggie, you and I are just a well-oiled machine. And I got to tell you, we haven't done like a full-fledged show since you've been gone, Maggie.
Yeah.
We've been like kind of cobbling these shows together a little bit. And I've been dealing with people who I don't want to place blame or anything. But I would say Danny's a little Fear Fry show for Happy Meal. And Basil's Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay? So I'm just saying, between the three of us, I'm somehow the normal one.
We're back to normal now.
Yeah, exactly. You and I are well on a mission. I want you to know, I know that Basil's listening to this right now. I know Basil is. And I'm just so happy that they're going to walk into my office and they're going to stare at me and be like, Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, huh? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I said what I said, buddy. He's going to be so mad. Okay. that being said, are we ready for the next question?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Hi, my name's Claire, and my pronouns are she, her, and I have a question about plumbing. My toilets do not flush properly, and I believe that they are not vented. I've looked online to see how to vent a toilet, and everything I can find is about installing brand new toilets from scratch, and I don't know how to vent a toilet that is already installed. When you flush the toilet, the water flows, but it seems like it's reluctant to go down, and oftentimes the toilet paper will just pop right back up. We've been quoted $20,000 to redo the plumbing in our entire house, which we don't want to pay, so instead we've resorted to just using a bucket of water to add that extra flush to make sure things go down. We bought this house from people who flipped it, and there are a number of things that were installed improperly. I even found that the bathtubs do not have the proper plumbing connection from the overflow to the drain, so that if the bathtub overflows, the water's just going to go straight into the crawl space under the house. This is another area that I could use help with. I'm looking forward to hearing your answer on the podcast. Thanks so much. Bye.
Okay, Claire, this was a very interesting one. It was so interesting that we weren't really quite sure what the answer was at all. I looked at Maggie. We had a panic attack that we were out of our depth. We paused the show. We did some hunting. We re-listened to the question. I mean, this was like a rinse and repeat situation here. And this is what we're going to tell you. I think I'm going to have Maggie kind of lead with the information Maggie was kind of telling me, right? Is that okay, Maggie?
Yeah.
And then I will kind of chime in here. So for those who don't know, venting is not a thing you do everywhere, okay? Certainly, I have not encountered venting myself very often. But that isn't actually the only problem here. We're also talking about there being a problem with the overflow. Now, I'm guessing you have been in the crawl space in order to know for sure that that's what it's doing. But if you could just tell that it's definitely doing that, and you don't see anything that's connected, I would still go underneath there and see what actually is going on and see if there's something you can connect. All that being said, the reason why I bring that up is because I want Maggie to share this information. So, Maggie, tell them what you told me when we weren't recording.
Yeah, so I found a source that was talking about venting, and they're based out of Orange County here in the States. But they were saying that it sounds like it is a clog that may need to be snaked out that's preventing, the airflow.
Yeah.
But that if there is missing or clogged, or, if there's a missing vent, then that does require kind of like opening up the wall or the floor and would require a professional plumber.
Yeah, because you got to go through the subfloor and everything at that point too, and that becomes difficult. So, like, if you don't have a whole lot of room underneath, because you talked about having a crawl space and everything, I think that you're definitely going to have a harder time than you would want to in that space to make it work. And God forbid they would need to tear up a lot more of the flooring, right? Yeah. God forbid that would have to be what they did. But this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, from what you're telling me and stuff, I think that there is something going on underneath. We can't deny that with the overflow. I don't know where you live. That really makes a lot of this. By your accent, I would say maybe not the States, right? But because I don't know where you live, I actually cannot really help you as much as I wish I could. And the reason why I say that is because plumbing is innately different in different regions of the world. Yeah. And what is maybe true here in the Midwest might not be true in the East Coast, West Coast, South, or even UK, Australia, or Canada.
Right.
Right, like it could be widespread or Ireland or anywhere. You know what I mean? Like it literally could be different anywhere you are. And I'm not positive that what I'm about to say to you would be right.
Right.
But this is what I would suggest. I would think that if this is a clog that is affecting your toilet, right? You mentioned how you actually have to add a bucket in order to make it happen. Now, Maddie said something very smart. Matt, I think it was Matt, or was it you, Maggie? Someone said off air that it was like, it sounds like a low flush situation. Was that you, Maggie?
Oh, I was talking about how in the UK they have the toilets that have two buttons, one for low flush and one for high flush.
If there's a clog and you're having an issue with this flushing situation, there could generally be, like, if you don't have enough pressure to get through that clog,
Right.
even if there's a small clog, that could be causing the problem. So I would say a toilet auger would be the very first thing I would do. I would get yourself a closeted auger. That's not an auger that has a sexual identity crisis. That's an auger that is like literally like hooded that pops in. That joke never gets old, doesn't it? That's a auger that has a special kind of hood that you can slam it up and down and spin and try to get it down there. If you look up toilet auger, it usually comes up. It's pretty hefty. And I also have a video on my TikTok and my Instagram. If you type in toilet auger Mercury Stardust, you will see something like that. Now, all that being said, you might not get it with a toilet auger because that's only first like 3 to 4 feet. Okay, it might be farther down. I don't know. I would think it's maybe not, but I don't know how big or wide your pipes are either. If you're in a trailer, that's different. When you say crawl space, you could also be talking trailer. I mean, there's so many different aspects here.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure what the scenario is here. So I'm going to say you could also get a really thick, auger from like a hardware store. You can rent those out. You want to get an electric auger.
Yeah.
No, not electric hand auger, but electric, like big, beefy fucking auger. And be careful. All that being said, you could do a lot of damage.
We've also had a plumber come out and do that for us for just a couple $100.
Yeah, that's cheaper. But again, when was that, Maggie? Was that a while ago?
Probably about 2 years ago.
Okay. Well, if it's post-COVID?
I think it was during COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's wild how fast changes.
After.
Yeah.
I think
God.
it was like at the beginning of COVID, so it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of tradespeople have left the industry.
Sure.
A lot of tradespeople have switched industries.
That's true.
So, I mean, you're having way more problems finding plumbers now. I'm trying to find a plumber right now for Red Clover, our wonderful, partially indigenous run tattoo shop in Madison that my spouse Mouse works at. I was helping them trying to find a plumber. Not a great success. We had a terrible situation with a plumber that I've known for a long time. So all that being said, it's very dicey right now finding a plumber for an affordable price. They'll quote you up twice as high as they should for a problem that's going to take them 45 minutes to do. So pretty frustrating sometimes. But anyways, what I'm trying to say about all this is I can't give you a great definite answer. I think what we've talked about maybe might send you in the right direction. But I think all points end up calling a professional.
Yeah.
And, boy, I hate that. I hate that answer. I wish there was a magical wand one I could give you here. I'm trying to, Maggie or Matthew, is there anything I'm missing? Is there anything that we could give here? Any guidance or anything that we can direct them in that I'm missing out on?
I mean, the only thing that I can think of is, like, are they talking about that their stack isn't vented? Like, isn't there a stack vent on the roof?
Well, yeah. Yeah, maybe. Honestly, Maggie, I'm not positive. Because when I looked this up, I found a whole different kind of stack system. Now, if you want to learn more about venting a toilet, you go to hammerpedia.com. Hammerpedia.com is really good. I've used them a bunch in different situations. You can use hammerpedia.com and type in your problem. And if you type in how to vent a toilet, first thing that comes up, it'll lay it all out there. Maybe that's a good direction. I don't know. But this is where some of my knowledge as, a maintenance technician who did mostly, tenants really does have a glaring hole in here, right? Like, I can only help you up to a point. And if I haven't had a direct issue myself, I may not have had that being said. But now I'm going to go hunting for that information and see if I can find it. But as of right now, I don't think I have enough to give that a definitive answer. So, motherfucker, I don't get an oatmeal cookie this week. I don't get one. But that being said.
And I have a question.
Yeah, Maggie.
So she was talking about her overflow drain isn't connected and it's just draining down.
Yeah.
Is there any way to connect that without, like, removing the tub?
See, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, you can get to the crawl space, you can. But that's the same. The reason why I didn't really touch on that too much is because it's kind of the same thing as the vent itself.
Yeah.
Like, I suspect there is a vent. I suspect there is. If She is saying, "Oh, there isn't." I suspect that somewhere it is. I think it's I didn't think all of it's disconnected. Where I don't know where you are. Are you in a high earthquake area where maybe it could? I mean, if you're in a crawl space, you're probably not. But like, I'm trying to think like where. Maybe you're in a space where you've had your land shifted and you've had disconnected pipes.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like a little bit perplexed by some of it. But I would definitely get underneath a crawl space, and I would say you want to get either someone who knows enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I saw it, I might be able to walk myself through it, or someone who is a professional who does this stuff all the time. I think one of those two answers. Boy, Maggie.
But I think that does answer the question of like, can we do this ourselves? And it's kind of like, most likely not.
Very true. You know,
Unfortunately.
every once in a while when we are getting a question like this, I really wish we had more. This is a call out to every single person listening to this podcast. I know we have professionals who listen. I know we have professionals who would help. I would be up to someday having a list of people we can call to help people. I think that would be really cool to have like guests on who are professional plumbers, professional electricians, professional contractors, and maybe we just outsource some of these questions every once in a while and then have them come on the air and we talk to them on live. I think that'd be really fun. If you're out there, let's make it happen. Send us emails, send us texts. Text us at what number, Maggie?
608-205-8768.
And we'll see if we can get in contact and make that happen. Make a list of people we can reach out to if we need to.
Yeah.
There's enough people out there, and there's no
we
reason.
know you're there.
Yeah, there's And if you ever listen to a question and you've had the problem yourself, and you might have a suggestion, text us.
Yeah.
Text us at that same number. We will get that information to the people that we are trying to help. Okay. All that being said, we did the best we could. I hope that helped, kinda. Okay. Now, next question, please.
Hi, Miss Stardust. My name is Erin. My pronouns are any and all. I just have an inquiry about something that's been going on lately. So me and my partner built pretty much a screened-in porch using our carport, but the metal frame that we use for it is constantly being peed on by our dogs and is now rusting up. How do we take care of the rust in the best way we can? Thank you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hey, Manny, can you pull that up a little bigger? We are just like looking at some photos right now, and we're trying to really see what's happening. Oh, wow. That's a lot of rust. I'm guessing here, Maggie, you can fill me in. You're a dog owner. I'm not necessarily a current dog owner. I haven't had dogs since I was on the farm. So I'm going to ask some questions, Maggie. Is there any behavioral thing that we can do here to help prevent this problem to some extent? Or is this a pure, like, maintenance question here?
I mean, I definitely, obviously it's both because you want to fix the rust, but then you want to prevent the dogs from peeing there. I do a little bit I've had many dogs and did training with them, though I am not a trainer. There's like two options that you have for preventing the dogs from peeing on it, and that is blocking off the area so they can't access it. Because I'm assuming it's male dogs too. They're like lifting their leg and marking the area. So having like a little fence or like area where they just can't access that anymore. The other thing is behaviorally like training them to go out into the yard to pee there. So basically you would just have to either have them leashed up or be out there with them consistently for a little while. And every time they try to go over there, redirect them and give them a treat when they pee in the right area. And you want to like encourage them to pee elsewhere. So it might be you take them out on leash, you take them across the yard where you want them to pee, you let them pee, and you reward them for that behavior. And basically just do that consistently enough that they stop going over that area to pee. It's not going to prevent them forever and ever, but it can help reduce it, especially if they get used to peeing in a certain area and they get rewarded for peeing in the area. They will go over there more consistently. But yeah, you definitely want a little bit of both, because if they keep peeing there, it's just going to keep happening.
Yeah, I mean, this is there's a lot going on here. So looking at this photo, Matt, can you blow it up a little bit more so I can really see the specific color of the rust here? Yeah, it looks like there's a mixture of white and red corrosion. For those who don't know, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of rust. There's black rust, red rust, and white rust. They all mean different things. White rust is most commonly on playground cheaper zinc.
Sure.
And red rust is going to be super duper common with almost everything else, right?
Yeah.
And black rust we're not even going to talk about because it's so gosh darn rare. You don't see it too often. But in this instance, I think that it's probably a combination of those two. It looks like it's like not like a super cheap metal. So I'm going to think, I don't know off the top of my head what kind of metal that is, but I would replace it. I would say here, I would try to get something that's not going to rust. And if you're in a budget and you're not able to, I mean, you're still going to spend a lot of elbow grease and a lot of time trying to make this anti-rust. You can put a little Rust-Oleum and all that stuff on it you want. There's a lot of stuff that will prevent rust, but to me, it's not going to solve the problem because the rust is already there, and you need to clean it so gosh darn well without it really continuing to cause a problem. I would get yourself some type of metal that's not going to rust. Now, if you got dogs, you probably don't want to go aluminum, but aluminum is not going to rust, right? But galvanized steel would probably be your best bet. I don't know if this is replaceable. I don't know if you're able to have that, but galvanized steel would be my best anti-corrosion route here. Maggie, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that came to mind was even like the tricks of like Coca-Cola. Have you ever tried that?
Yeah.
Does that work for you?
Does Coca-Cola actually? I mean,
remove rust.
I will say this. I think that Coca-Cola does fine. I mean, it's not really. It doesn't really do the job. You want to. Not only do you want it to eat away through the rust, right? You also want it to restore the metals, and you're not going to do that with Coca-Cola,
right? Yeah,
right. Coca-Cola will actually have. I think it has like that bubbly stuff that's in it. I think that actually causes long-term damage to it too. I'm not really quite sure. I could talk about
carbonation.
I think it does. What I will throw it out there, if there's a fucking scientist out there, is Hank Green is listening. Hank Green, if you're listening, first of all, how you doing, buddy? Second of all, fuck you, dude. Help me here. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know enough about rust science.
And it does CLR. Would that work?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I thought
think
the
so.
R stood for rust.
Maggie, go ahead. Maggie was going to anyways. I don't know. I forgot what the calcium, lime, and R. Right? That's what CLR stands for?
Yeah, calcium, lime, and rust remover.
Okay, I guess rust. I've never used CLR for rust.
Oh,
I've used other restoration products.
Definitely for like lime buildup.
Okay.
But it does say it is.
I don't have any products that, off the top of my head I would recommend. Maggie's coming in red hot with fucking CLR. Because apparently the R stands for rust. Well, who the fuck knew? Besides everyone else out there, probably. But that being said, there's tons of restoration rust stuff out there. You can Google it. You'll find it. I figure that you know that already if you're asking this question. I figure that you already know there's stuff out there who can eat away at that rust and save it. I think it's probably a little bit I think the reason why you're asking is a little unprepared and you're not sure. It's nothing you're going to do is fix it is what I'm trying to say. Like it's pretty beat up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know for sure. It's really hard to tell by this angle. I think if you were right down flat next to it and you looked at it and it was all rusted through and it looked like it was tearing apart.
Like there were holes in the metal.
Yeah, then I would start saying you need to say, screw that shit. But I would say galvanized steel. That would be what I would do.
Yeah.
Or that or copper.
Would it help to paint the Rust-Oleum? Is that what you called it? Is that a paint?
Yeah, I mean, you could use Kills.
Yeah.
So try to clean it up the best you can with any type of restoration, CLR apparently. And then you can paint what we would do is Kills. Kills will go on top of that.
Primer.
Yeah. It's like a primer, but it specifically will protect rust, right? And then you can paint on top of that, and that could help, right? But galvanized steel, I'm telling you, I think that's the route to go. I know that's going to be a little pretty penny, and redoing it probably isn't fun for you. But you can get them to use their cold saw and to cut it down for you at most hardware stores. If you have a specific length that you need, right? If you go to a hardware store and if you ask them if they got a cold saw that they can cut it up with, there should be no problem. Sure. You know what a cold saw is? It's a badass saw. Is
the
what
same
it is.
as like a wet saw?
Yeah, I think so. If you mean a saw that like sprays water on the thing, yeah. boy, those things fucking cool. They're cool. I fucking love cold saws.
Yeah.
They're fucking scary if you're not used to them for the first time, but boy,
That's
they're
funny.
cool. I love them. You know, I used to just like get metal sometimes on my brakes, and I would just like see, oh, you know, I could use a piece of metal this
You cut
size.
this for me.
Yeah, and I would just like, you just like push the thing down and it does all the thing for you,
Nice.
and it just the way that water. Oh my god, it was so sexy. I fucking loved watching that saw get all wet when it's cutting up that fucking metal. All that grinding noise. Oh, I was having a great time. Anyways, we're having some adult time here at the studio. That being said, I think that's about it.
Yeah,
I
and
think that's what I got. I wish I had more in this one too,
Yeah.
but I honestly think I think you could be there all day, every day, trying to change the behavior of a pupper
Yeah.
or trying to solve a problem there. I mean, another thing. No, you don't want wood. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're better off with galvanized steel. I think maybe.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, call back and we'll see if we can do something else for you.
Yeah, I think it's mostly about prevention because oh man, once dogs start peeing on everything, they're just gonna keep peeing on it, and it's just gonna get so bad.
Do you think that replacing it with galvanized steel would actually help to fix that problem too? Do you think replacing it is actually the route to go?
Yeah, we made our own fence at our house with a steel like cattle gate, and our dogs pee on it all the time, and it's totally fine. Like it has never had any issues, and it doesn't get rusted or anything.
Okay, steel. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
galvanized steel is what I don't know what the kind of metal there. What kind of metal did they say? Was it something like a car or something, right?
It's for a carport. I don't know that they said
no.
what kind of metal it is, but it doesn't look like galvanized steel.
No, it does not.
No.
I mean, it wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be doing that.
Because I mean, the steel is a lot more silver than that, and that looks kind of like brown
Yeah.
to start.
Oh, and I would recommend don't painting galvanized steel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this stuff that we're looking at right
Right.
now, you could paint. I won't paint.
But you wouldn't
galvanized
have to
steel.
paint the steel.
No. Okay, there we go. That's my answer. Galvanized steel. I don't know if that helps you. I hope it does. Well, Mercury's really on this whole like, fucking hope. I don't know. I did the best I could.
Just doing the best you can.
Why the fuck did you call me? No. I'm like, oh, who the fuck am I? Just some chick on the internet thinking she knows more than you. That's hilarious. No, thank you for calling, though. I appreciate you calling and you asking that question. I really hope everything goes okay with your pupper. I hope their health is good. You know what I mean? Because that could also be an indication of health and stuff, too, right, Maggie? With puppers and stuff like that? I hope they're doing okay. I hope your puppies are doing good.
Yeah, I would say it's probably just that they're male dogs and they're marking their territory.
Ooh, Maggie is sexist against male dogs. You hear that? Maggie hates
Well, that's what
all
they do.
male
They lift their
dogs.
leg and they spray. Like, oh, my dog does it all the time. He's such an asshole.
I mean, boys are all the same.
We
no
can't
matter
take
what
a walk
species.
around the block without stopping every 5 seconds to spray everything.
Yeah, you know what? Boy, I swear to God, no matter what species you got, boys
Yeah,
are the worst.
they are the worst.
They're the worst. Hey, Matt, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I haven't been paying attention. What are we talking about?
Hey, Matt, you're not spraying anywhere, are you?
No.
Okay, good. Just wanted to check in. Just wanted to make sure. Always got to make sure. I don't want to have to replace everything around your sound area with galvanized steel. You know what I mean? Okay, are we ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So this one is from, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Micheline, she, her. We moved into an older home built in 1920, and it's in very good condition for the most part. Over the winter, we found out the hard way that some plumbing pipes were run outside through the garage. Of course, they burst, and we had to repair them.
Oh,
How do you keep pipes warm over the winter? If we try to move them inside, it would be so expensive. Thank you. Love you from Illinois, and my brother loves you from California.
installate. Boy, was this on the surface? Is that what it was? What is this again?
They were outside. The pipes were run
Outside pipes.
outside through the garage.
Where are they located?
Illinois.
What? What?
Who did that?
Who did this?
But I think as it was built in 1920, so they,
Okay, first and foremost, exposed pipe above the ground,
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
Are you kidding
in
me?
Illinois.
In Illinois? I hope you were in like Carbondale. I hope you were all the way down
At
in
the
the
bottom.
south of the fucking yeah. I hope that you were barely Illinois. Is what I'm trying to say, because that's wild.
Yeah.
I will say, boy, the fact that it's not it's one. I mean, honestly, uninsulated pipes. That's rough. I will say this: you can actually prevent those problems if you have by just running water constantly.
Mm-hmm.
If you run water constantly, you will. They would be way better off.
Yeah.
Right. Not great for your bill.
Yeah.
But
even just like a little drip.
Even a little drip can do it. I mean, sometimes a little more than a drip, depending. If it's outside like that, and you're hitting like -10 and 15 degrees outside, you might need a little bit more than a little drip.
Yeah.
But constant running water will definitely prevent that problem.
Yeah.
Insulated pipes, though, man, I can't tell. They make sleeves that will go on this stuff outside. It won't be necessarily cheap, though.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I almost wonder if this is a situation where, boy, there's grants and shit that will help take a home that's older and update it. I don't know how to me, it's like invested interest.
Yeah.
So I would say your city planner is a great person to contact and be like, hey, what the fuck do we do here?
Yeah, that
like,
can't be code though, right?
That can't be. That can't
be.
Every once in a while when we get a question like this, I'm like, someone's fucking with me, right?
They could not have passed inspection.
Like, I'm missing something. Either I'm a bonehead and I'm missing something completely, or this is fucking wrong. This is wrong.
Yeah.
This is not right. This is why I thought I heard you say Illinois, and a part of me is like, there's no fucking way this is in Illinois. It's wild. I thought you were gonna say like Southern California or fucking like Texas or Arizona.
Yeah.
You know, not fucking Illinois.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fuck, if I heard this in Indiana, I would be confused.
Yeah.
You know? But Illinois, Jesus.
Yeah.
So
but,
I guess
mean, it is such an old home. I wonder if there is some kind of like
I would say there might be a grant that you can apply for that will update it for you. The city planner might have some suggestions for you. There's maybe a city building inspector, anything like that. And if you are in a small town, I don't know, did they say if they're in a big small town or not? I don't think they
did not.
If you're in a really small town, there's probably still some type of resources that you can do. Sometimes county-wise, there'll be a resource that you can reach out to that will kind of give you some more guidance in that route. If another suggestion is, are you the only old house in this whole area? Because your neighbors gotta have a tip or two what they do specifically for there. But you can get sleeves and things and insulate that pipe. And I also think it has to go underneath the ground.
Yeah.
I just that blows my fucking mind that you would have it running above in Illinois like that without it being. If it's in the ground and you're insulating and doing all that good jazz stuff, it's already better off. Right. So like I think that might be a route that I would go. But it's going to cost you some money, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to not be a cheap route to go. Maggie, what do you think?
Oh, my gosh.
What?
Yeah, I just feel like this is the third time you've been like, it's not going to be cheap.
Yeah, no. Again, this is why when Ziggy...
This is the expensive episode.
Yeah, this is like the Ching Ching. Matt, can we name this the Ching Ching episode? Can we put the sound effect from the song by Pink Floyd? But don't play Pink Floyd here because we don't need to get sued by Pink Floyd, okay? But if we don't have money playing in the background in some way, Matt, what I'm trying to say is, can you do a cheap rendition of that sound that doesn't sound too much like that sound, but also like works? The fact I just called a song a sound means I'm on TikTok too fucking much.
Yeah.
Matt.
Yes, I can do that.
You can do this. You can somehow make all that happen.
I can, yes.
Okay, Matt is the musical genius.
Okay, I got to listen to this.
Whatever he did that's playing right now on repeat, who knows, is so good, immaculate. He has paid for his own job 10 times over. But anyways, that being said, I feel like I give him a heart attack every week. I feel like every week when I'm fucking around with Matthew, I'm like, she gave me another fucking job. Okay, but all that being said, this is an expensive episode.
Yeah.
And I keep leaning back on like, you're gonna get a professional, buddy. But honestly, I don't know.
I big problems.
Yeah, I mean, this one's not my favorite one. But I also think it could be cheaper too, depending on what it is. You know your area better than anybody. Plumbers will know their area better than anybody.
Yeah.
What you could do is also ask for a quote. Get a quote, get a professional to come out and ask them what they would do. And then you look into doing that route that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then you see what the pros and cons are. Could you DIY this fucker? I don't think you can.
Yeah.
I don't think you can DIY this because I think if you're dealing with code and shit, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
But if you're able to, fucking see what the cost is. And the scenario is not going to get you in trouble.
Yeah. And I'm curious the route that you said about talking to the neighbors, because I wonder if this was done a long time ago before that stuff was code, but
long time ago.
Does anybody else in the neighborhood have issues like this? Why? It's just such an odd thing.
Yeah, a city
to
planner.
do.
I want to go to the city planner.
Yeah.
Right now it's July. You got 4 months, probably 5 months. I mean, depending on where you are in Illinois, you got at least 2 months or you got 5 months. It really does.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, you never flipping know. The Midwest is wild. But all that being said, get now.
Yeah.
After you listen to this podcast, listen to the whole podcast in length, okay? Okay, make sure that you really
make it all the way to the end.
Listen to all the way to the end of the podcast, and then once the podcast is done, listen to the previous week's podcast, and then listen to the third week's podcast, and then you can call. Really help our numbers. Is
what
really
counts for us is downloads. So if you could download it on 3 or 4 different devices.
Yeah, download on all your devices.
You don't even have to listen to it.
Yeah,
just download it.
You don't need to listen. Who cares? You don't need to listen to the podcast. Just download it every week. And do me a favor. Download every single episode. Once that's done, then you can call the city planner. All that being said, I think that was pretty good. I think that was good for what we can do.
Yeah.
May, you had anything else to throw in there?
No, I think that was pretty thorough.
Matt, are we ready to just answer the last question for the day, buddy, and just hang up our G-string? I mean, Jesus Christ.
I think we're ready. Hey, Mercury, I recently moved into a house that is about 100 years old, and I want to replace the door frames. They are incredibly ugly, and I want to put something that looks better. However,
a cheap thing. This
however,
is going to be so.
I don't know.
This is going to be so
if
cheap.
they used any lead paint on those doors
God damn
or
it.
the frames. Is there an easy solution to test? And what should I do if there's lead paint on the door?
I just want an easy one. The first question of the episode
was the only
was so good. It set me up. I was so confident. And now I am why? Why? Okay. How do you okay, let's back up. I the first thing I can say right now is that you can just get a lead test kit from a hardware store, okay? And then send it in. If you're talking a really old home, it's no way it ain't lead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100 years old.
Oh, God, when you said 100 years old, and then the next thing was lead, I'm like, shit.
It's almost guaranteed.
Yeah, if it's old enough, especially because maybe the top layers aren't, but that bottom layer.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing is, back in the day, I think still now, what they do is they literally tell you to it's better off to cover it up than it is. You shouldn't even sand that fucking shit down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I am restoring antique stuff, right? Like when I'm working on things, I gotta wear respirators on whatever I'm trying to restore because they use lead paint on fucking everything.
Yeah.
So you gotta be really careful and smelling how you do all this. Here's the good news though. Lead has such a historic precedent of being terrible for people, right? Same with asbestos. Almost every single location I'm aware of in the United States will have some type of thing that you can apply for some type of financial aid to remove it. Now, sometimes, I don't know how small these funds were getting, but I know back when I was doing much more of this stuff, the funds were pretty decent, but not a lot of people would buy into it. Not a lot of people would apply for it. So you could try it. It might take you a little bit, though. But I think they said the door jam's falling apart and stuff, too, right? Like they need to replace it, but they weren't sure kind of thing.
Just that they're incredibly ugly.
They're really ugly. That's what it is. Well, hey, I'd rather have ugly than have bad lungs is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, I think don't mess with it. Don't mess with it until you know for sure. Do multiple tests. That's going to cost you I think it's $50 a pop for each test.
But if you're removing the door frame, you're not having to sand down or anything, right? You're just removing the whole.
So So what you're saying is just replace the whole jab, the door jab.
The door. Yeah, they want to replace the whole door frame. Take the old door frame out, put a new one in.
Then I would still do the test and stuff so you know what to
Right.
wear.
Right.
Then rip the fucking thing out and put a new one in.
Yeah.
And, you just did that. Maggie just. By the way, this is the most wild fucking story I've ever heard of. Maggie and her wonderful husband Nick, who is the most lesbian cisgender man I've ever met in my entire life. Sweet guy. He's so loving. There's no way he's a man. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, Matthew. I'm sorry, everybody. But all that being said, he found a door set, like a whole jam and everything.
Door with window sets on the side.
This was a $4,000 to $5,000 door?
$4,000 door.
$4,000 door. He got it for what price, Maggie?
$300.
Because there's a few nicks in it, and the glass was milky in one
foggy.
spot. That was it. That was it.
But it fit our frame perfectly. It's a little wider than our. But yeah, he did it all.
And
himself.
I was in Menards this weekend,
Yeah.
right? I was in Menards, which is a local hardware store for the Midwest folks. But if you're anywhere else, it just sounds like I said Menards. But that being said, Menards, I went there this weekend, and I saw a door frame that was gorgeous,
Aw.
like a whole thing for like maybe $250.
Wow.
And it was probably like $1,000. So this is a problem. I think that happens a lot. I think people fuck up door frames,
Yeah.
and then they don't know how to sell them,
Yeah.
and then they have to like give them discount. So I would say go to your fucking local hardware store
Yeah.
and poke around, and you might find something for a pretty good fucking price. Or Habitat Humanity.
Yeah.
If you go to a local Habitat Humanity store, if there is one next to you or close to you, there is one in Madison. That's why we bring it up. Boy, will they have doors. They got shit up the wazoo when it comes to cabinetry, doorways, etc. So don't count
They're
that.
a good resource for
They
sure.
really are a good resource. You won't
Yeah.
know what you will find there. Also, sometimes Craigslist will have some random shit, like people are getting rid of old stuff. But I will say this. I think that even if you got a door jamb that isn't like the prettiest thing in the world, but it can replace the lead one right now, I think that's the route to go.
Yeah.
Anything that just gets you up and out of the way. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I think that's your phone.
My phone?
It works down here now.
Was it my phone?
Yeah.
This whole time I looked at Maggie like she was the problem.
No, I turned my phone on silent.
That's so funny. My phone was ringing, and I looked at Maggie like, you picked the fucking phone up.
And I'm looking at you like, I don't know what you want me to do.
Everybody was my phone. Oh, Maggie, I missed a phone call from a telemarketer.
Oh, God.
Shit, Maggie.
At least you're getting phone calls down here now.
Fuck you. You guys got to listen to the after show, pre-show to know what we're talking about. But I've been having a problem with Maggie where no one can call me or I can't text anyone in any location of our studio, but also like at home, and I just can't. Maggie took my phone for 1 second and figured it out so fast. This is why I'm not the trans IT lady. I'm not.
That's what you have me for.
This is what I got you for, to help fill my deficit. But all that being said, I forgot what we were talking about.
Lead paint door frames.
Oh, yeah, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Just cut that shit out.
Yeah,
You're fine.
just go for it. What's the worst that going to happen? Going to lose a few years on this earth? That doesn't sound like a bad thing. But all of that being said, I think we gave you a pretty good route to go in. I say go that route. Be cautious. Don't go. Even when you take the sample off, wear a respirator.
Yeah.
Wear goggles. Wear gloves. Because as soon as you chip away at it, it exposes that potential lead.
Right.
And here's the thing. Even if it's not lead, even if it isn't, wear a fucking respirator when you do all this work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, as someone who literally has lung problems right now, and I am not as good as about wearing a respirator as I should be, wear a respirator because you still have all that sawdust and everything in the air.
Yeah.
This is the best advice I've ever got when I was working in the industry. Someone was working on electrical with me, and he turned to me and he said, "Do you know it's off?" And I said, "Yeah, I know it's off." Don't act like it's off. Always treat it like it's hot.
Yeah.
Always treat it like that what you're working on can hurt you.
Yeah.
Always treat it like it has lead, like it has asbestos, like water is on, like the electrical is running, like the blade is exposed. Always treat it like what you're doing is literally the most dangerous thing you could do.
Yeah.
Because that is having respect for what you're working with. Never go in it underselling how long it's going to take you. Never go in it to thinking it's going to be a rush job, and never go into it without respect for safety.
Yeah.
If you do all three of those things, you'll be okay. And those are the best things I could tell anyone in this field or anyone doing this as like on their own DIY, because accidents happen. And I'm telling you right now, if you're always trying to save money and do DIY stuff, you know what's not fucking cheap? Medical bills in the United States. So I would rather you spend a lot of money on PPE than spending any money on your health that will long-term affect you. So just be careful, be smart, and remember, you're worth the time it takes to take care of your health. Okay. Now, all that being said, I think that was the last question of the day, right?
It was.
Thank God this episode's over. Jesus Christ.
So glad I came back for this one.
Yeah, Maggie. I just want you to know, Maggie, I was having so much fun filling our weird haphazard shows when you were gone. And I was just making things happen, and I was like reading about history. I was doing great, Maggie. You come back instantly.
Made you do work.
Shit, yeah. Make me do work.
How dare I?
God damn it, making me do work. That's so funny. Maggie, I love you. Matthew, I love you. I hope that both of you had a good time on this episode. I hope all of you are having a good time on this episode. Now, remember, you can pre-order my book right now by going to the link in the bio or my website, mercurystardust.com. And you can pre-order Safe and Sound, A Renter's Guide to Home Maintenance. It's available on August 22nd. But if you pre-order it right now, that helps us a lot. We are going for the 50,000 pre-orders before the date comes.
Halfway there.
And we're halfway there. And we are pretty close to announcing the location and dates of all the book tour stuff. We're getting there. So all the cities and states are announced at this point on my Instagram. But as far as like
the actual stores,
we're still working on some stuff. Maggie is putting basically the finishing bows on everything that we're doing. We're very close to being done. Now we just got to get a little bit more done on another side, and then we're good to go. So that being said, remember, look into that information on my Instagram and my website, mercurystardust.com. And remember, you're worth the time it takes to learn a new skill. Take care. Bye-bye. The theme song was created by Rhodey Walker. Questions were picked up by our production assistant, Ziggy. A big thank you to our executive producer, Basil. And this podcast was recorded and edited by Matthew Allen Haig. Thank you for listening. See you next time. If you enjoyed this episode of the Handy Ma'am Hotline, you can listen to an even longer version by supporting us on Patreon. If you support us on Patreon, $10 or more, you'll be able to get an extra long 30 to 45-minute section every single week. Isn't that amazing? More of me and Maggie. Wow! So thank you so much for all those who already support us, and you too can support us and listen to more on our Patreon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So grab your hammer and nails and paint your nails if you want to.